see.
Hi. Welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here. Create with Kelley crew. I have a surprise guest tonight. I'm so excited to have Tanya cook with me.
Hi.
She's one of my Create with Kelley Captains Club members, which means she is on my Stampin' Up team. And I wanted to introduce myself again, Kelley Pitts, Stampin' Up demonstrator, just in case this is the first time you've tuned in. We're really happy to have you join us. We're going to do a little bit of technique with pastels tonight. We have a new product. Stampin' Up came out with some soft pastels that are wonderful to work with. They're kind of like using a sidewalk chalk or something. So, hi Eileen, glad you're on, glad you're watching. Hopefully we'll have some more tuning in just a minute. If you'll give me just a second to get set up on my other devices here so I can see your comments.
Oh, that's how you see.
Give me a little break here.
Who's watching?
And I will.
I'm trying to get it up on my phone. So.
Just a second here.
Oh, shit.
I'm so excited. And here's where, and I'm showing Tanya kind of how to do this. So if y'all be a little patient with us, we'd appreciate it.
There,
so I've got the comments. See, Tanya, you can see I've got this live on the screen here, and then I'll get it on my iPad. Eileen, we're we're getting close here, and I will get back with y'all in just a second. So you get to the screen where it shows the start of it and hit go.
Play.
And
okay.
then,
yeah,
there we go.
It's delayed. I can see it now.
Okay. There we go. Let's see. I can't tell who else is on. Nobody's making comments so far. If you're on, make a comment so I can tell that that's working, if you don't mind. It's the Kelley and Tanya show tonight.
Yeah. I can't make it post.
Tanya.
Judy's watching.
Hi, Judy. Glad you're tuned in here. Tanya's really going. Thanks, Eileen, for commenting. I appreciate it. We are going to be showing you, like I said, we're going to be talking about the soft pastels. We have a soft, sorry, Tanya, this is going to go in front of your face here. Soft pastels assortment. And this assortment has 8 different pastels in it. And it tells you the colors on the back: Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade.
For Frozen.
Yeah, that's just on that one. Okay, so hopefully this is okay. Our video's interrupted. I know another thing that I should have done. Hang on just a second.
We're back.
I don't think I can get there.
We're back.
Just a sec.
Okay.
Okay. I should have gone to my little extension on my Wi-Fi. I usually do, but I'm trying to show Tanya everything tonight because she's going to try to do this for me next week while I am on vacation. So we're going to see how we can get all that to work. But tonight I'll show you what card we're going to do. A fairly simple one, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of looking forward to a beach vacation. Can you tell by the colors in this card? This is using the soft pastels, and we make the stripes, and we're going to make it a little bit different tonight. I've got a couple of little bit different colors. We are using the Artistically Inked stamp set, which you know I'm in love with because I've done several cards here recently with it. And I'm going to show you how you can use pastels and Versamark to get these images, and then we'll make the stripes with the pastels, and then we're going to use the water painter to go over the stripes and kind of set that, and it really does make the colors more vivid of the pastels whenever you run the water painter over it. So, and it does work. I was really curious to see if it would work on something as fine as the greeting. And it did. That is in pastels. It's not stamped. So I don't know if you can tell that from here. And the camera's kind of being wonky there trying to focus. But I used some of the artistic blooms, I think. Hi, Kathy. Glad you tuned in. Good to see you. This is the card we're going to make tonight, working with our soft pastels. So I will give like another few seconds and then we'll see who else tunes in, and then we'll go ahead and turn the camera down. Just in case y'all missed the intro, I'm Kelley Pitts, independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up since 2005. And then Tanya Cook is with me tonight. She is one of my team members. She's on my Captain's Club. So any of you who are tuning in, you're automatically part of my Create with Kelley crew. I have a crew and a Captain's Club. So if you'd like more information about joining Stampin' Up and becoming a demonstrator, I'd be glad to help you anytime with that. And if you want to find out tips and tricks and techniques and watch videos that you've missed on Facebook, you can tune in to my blog at createwithkelley.com. Hope you'll subscribe there. And then I have a Create with Kelley group on Create with Kelley crew group on my Facebook page also that you can join. Would love to have you. I'm eventually going to be posting different things on my page than I am to the group. So it's just getting used to all this technology. So we will go ahead and turn the camera down. I'm going to be talking Tanya through a couple of these moves that I make. So y'all forgive me while I'm in a double teaching moment here. All right, we're going to turn the camera down and I'll be right back with you and we'll show you how to make this card. Thanks for tuning in. So we flip the camera. Now you get it level and then you open up and see how close you are here. See if you're where you think you are, but see it takes a bit to get there.
Okay.
And here we go. All right. Yeah. You can, you can move over now. You don't have to be under my elbow. Okay. We are ready to go. This is the Soft Pastels assortment, and it is just beautiful and a lot of fun to play with. I actually did several cards with it when I first started playing with it. We are going to have a techniques class on this coming Sunday, and I probably still have some openings. I haven't cut all the cardstock for all of it yet, so if you're interested in coming and seeing some of these other cards that we did with it and participating, you can just send me an email at kelley@createwithkelley.com, and we can see if we can get you still signed up. I'm going to show you a couple of the other cards while I'm talking about the techniques class. That we're going to make this one today, but I'll show you this other card. This is done with the Magnolias in Bloom folder, something that Magnolia Blooms maybe. That is an embossing folder, and I wanted to play with the pastels and kind of work on the background just a little bit, so you can do positive space or negative space with the pastels. So I actually colored the background to make the bloom show up more, and then I used the chalk directly on the little stamen area and the leaves, and just made a simple little card out of that one. That's one that we'll probably be doing at the techniques class. I've got another one here that is the Peachy. It's from that gorgeous peach set that we will be doing a class on too very soon. And I ordered this peach set just especially for this techniques class because I thought this would be the perfect texture. Sorry, I'm moving the wrong way. I thought it'd be just perfect for the peach. And this is combining, believe it or not, this is Poppy Parade with the Mango Melody. Kind of started with the Mango Melody and went over it with Poppy Parade with sponge daubers. So that was a lot of fun. And then we have the shimmery paper. The end colors come in this shimmery vellum that is just gorgeous. It looks like Wink of Stella is all over it. It's just really pretty. Tanya really fell for it when she walked in and saw it. She liked it. And then we have this other one that we'll be making with the Pansies Sweet. And this is actually using the Gorgeous Grape and the Pacific Point pastels to do the pansy. And the Granny Apple Green and Mossy Meadow are on the leaves. So this is a fun little Stitch with Whimsy dies that I had not used until I did this card. But these dies don't cut out anything. They just make the indentation in here that are really fun that looks like stitching. So I thought that was a lot of fun. And you use the textured textiles folder on this one. And then this is from the mini messages. We may be doing a different sentiment since that'll take a little longer. But these are from the Tasteful Labels dies. And I went around the edge of that with Daffodil Delight marker just to kind of make an edge on that. I'm not sure if I can get the camera close enough for you to be able to see that.
Yes, you can see it.
Great. And then we also played with the, okay, I'm not showing this up on the computer here for some reason. It's not showing up. I've kind of lost my feed on the computer here. I see your comments, but we're going to refresh this screen real quick and then I'll come back to you. There we go.
Yeah.
Now we're back to live. Okay. But this is one we did with the spiral die. And it's not really a die. It's D-Y-E, not D-I-E. Spiral die. And this one I actually sprayed I put the stamp on the Stamparatus, the spiral die stamp on the Stamparatus, and then we colored that with the pastels on the wet stamp. So that worked great too. And you could make several different impressions with it. My comments just aren't showing up. There we go, maybe. But you can do it several times without totally re-inking. Here we go, kind of to show you there's some different techniques we're going to try on Sunday with that. And then we probably won't get to making a full card with all of these, but at least I wanted to show you kind of what we're going to be playing with at my techniques class on Sunday. Would love to have you. Okay, now we'll get started with this thanks card and using the soft pastels. I'll get out my little white sheet here. That we're going to stamp on. Or not really stamp, but I guess I need a
stamp mat.
Full sheet of, yeah, I can do it on.
Full sheet of what?
I think I'm just going to pull me a sheet of scrap paper here. I thought I had brought one in here, but I had not. We can use this. Here we go. I don't want to make a big mess on my little mat here. All right. And all I did, well, maybe it'd be easier with the grid. I don't think I used a grid, but we shall see here. And there's always stuff in the way. Seems like. No, I mean, I'm just warning you how they can see everything. You think they can't see it, but they can. Okay, folks out there, sorry, I'm talking to Tanya and talking to y'all, trying to get this figured out. But all I did, the little chalks, if you want to, if you're not getting a good edge when you first start playing with it, you can just kind of rub it on your paper and get it going, or you can use your scissors to kind of scrape a little bit of that off. And we're going to be playing like with a little palette that you have for watercoloring. We're going to be using that at the techniques too. But I just decided I wanted to see how stripes would work. And so I just lined it up. I'm not really a perfectionist, so I probably didn't really line it up. But if you want to line it up, you certainly can. But I just started at the edge and made a stripe the width of, oh, and this is totally different. I did my first one on shimmery white cardstock, and this one is going to be on whisper white. I wanted to try this to see what we thought here. So I'm using the, well, I thought this was Bermuda Bay, actually. I didn't pay attention to what it said on the instructions or the sheet, and it is actually Coastal Cabana.
Oh.
But it looks a little darker to me than Coastal Cabana. So, and I put a green, I think we're going to put one in between each one of those. And this is artistic. It is not, it doesn't have to be exactly straight. We're going to go over this with the water painter. But I'm using some decent pressure. I'm not pressing real hard. Whoops. Not quite as straight on that one. Don't get in a rush. But like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. They don't all have to be exactly the same. And it definitely makes a difference. Oops, that should have been green. Glad I'm not a perfectionist. I'd have to start over. Heavens, I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. But really, this is kind of just showing you the technique. And you could certainly do this with reds and yellows if you wanted instead of these colors. But as I said, I love beachy colors and beach water, and we're just going to...
This one?
Uh-huh. Tanya's being my assistant. It's awesome. She's going to help. We're going to see if we can figure out how she can actually broadcast one of my lives for me next week. Okay, paper towel. That was one thing I did not think about. Okay, you'll go that way. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to take the water painter and see if we can get that smoothed out. Kind of get your brush. The water painters come in 3 different sizes, and this is the largest or widest one. It comes in a medium tip and a small tip, and then this wide tip brush. So if you'll just, all you do is fill that with water, which I didn't really get enough water in there either, I don't think. We may have to take a water break in a second here. We'll see how this goes.
Let me go see if I can get it.
Okay.
You just squeeze it in the cup.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. All right. And I took the water painter brush and just stuck with one color and went all the way across in each stripe that was that color, if that makes sense, before I changed colors. All right, kind of got the look that I wanted. And then we'll go to the next color. And we'll try it with the green. I'll see if I have enough water here. Here we go. We're going to try the green. And definitely the shimmer white paper does make a difference. It was a lot smoother going on than the Whisper White. But the color is still good with the Whisper White. It does definitely look like it has a different texture on the Whisper, or sorry, I keep saying Whisper White. I should be saying Basic White. I forgot Stampin' Up changed our little colors. Okay, we'll see if we can make this happen.
So are you squeezing it a little bit?
I'm squeezing it. I'm just almost out of water there. Okay. Let's see if we can make it go.
The shimmer paper handles water a little better too.
It does. It doesn't bow up this much. When you do the shimmer paper, it stays a little flatter. But this, once it dries and you mount it, you won't know the difference. Okay. There we go. That's pretty smooth. Now,
I like it.
Doesn't that look like a little cabana boy ought to come by any minute with a little drink with an umbrella in it?
Yeah.
Speaking of Crafty Happy Hour, what's everybody drinking for happy hour? Anybody doing anything fun? We're having red wine here. Hope y'all are drinking something fun.
Let me clean that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Put some more.
All right.
I just grabbed this.
So we've got the background, and we're just gonna let that set that aside and let it dry. And we're gonna get with our stamping our floral images. Let's see if this is the wide one. Yeah, that's one we're going to do our flowers on. We've got our little mat here. We're going to take the Versamark, and Versamark is one of Stampin' Up's. It's our watermark stamp pad, and it is clear ink that makes, it's a sticky, it's not really a glue, but it's almost as sticky as glue, and it makes the pastel stick to it. It's the same that we use when we are embossing, but tonight we are just going to use it with the pastels. So you just ink up your stamp, and as I said, these are from the Artistically Inked stamp set that I've used on the last couple of Facebook Lives. I don't see that stamp set. Let's see.
Oh, I've got it.
But it's Artistically Inked. Let me show you that stamp set. in case you don't have that one yet. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is like the alcohol ink technique without having to do the technique. So it is a beautiful stamp set. Okay, we're going to just randomly stamp these. I'm going to, instead of making a mess on my little pad here, I'm going to use this little grid paper on it. Get that off in the trash. Okay, we're going to use this. I'm going to re-ink that just to make sure we've got this good. It really needs to be good and inked up. So there we go. Just ink that with the Versamark, and I still use my little stamping pad like I normally do to make sure you get even pressure on the stamp. Pull it up, and I got it so sticky one time it actually peeled the paper up.
Oh wow.
So that was a surprise to me that it would be that strong. Okay, now I'm going to move the little stamp pad out of the way, and we are going to, I think I'm going to use the Coastal Cabana, and you can just actually rub this off onto your paper and then put your little sponge dauber on it. And I also have some little, if we want to, well, that's all right. We'll just do it this way. You can, if you want to pile some up, you can into a little container, or if you want to just keep using your paper and rub quite a bit off on that. And the more you rub, you can rub it a little harder with your sponge dauber. And Stampin' Up sells these sponge daubers 5 in a package. And it's just called sponge dauber, and you can use them for inking up stamps. If you want to kind of make a 2-color stamp, we can use them with pastels. We can use them a lot of different ways. So I'm going to try to get all the Versamark covered, and since we're die cutting this after we finish this, you don't have to worry about whether you get pastels a little outside the lines, but
that's really pretty.
Thank you. And mostly, as you can see, you can really layer it. So I'm going to make the edges just a little darker. You can see how that makes a difference, or hopefully you can see that on camera.
Yes.
Okay. And then, if you want to, we're going to try this. We're going to rub this in a little bit with our fingers, and that kind of helps to set it, just the oil from your fingers. You're going to smear it just a little bit initially, but that's okay. This is that watercolory look, so that's kind of what we want. All right, I'm going to try to make this kind of a two-tone like I did on my first card. I did this a different way and wasn't really that thrilled with exactly how it turned out, so we're going to try a different way today. First time on camera. So there we go. We're going to tilt this a totally different direction, and you can kind of look at it and see there's a big dip right there. That's this angle right here. So I'm just going to kind of flip that around over to the side, and I'm going to try, and I didn't put my stamping mat under me, so we'll see how this works. Forgot to put that back on. Okay, so I'm going to do it again in a different angle. Now we're going to try the Pacific Point. And really just kind of make you a heavy little spot of it. And use your little sponge dauber. And if you have new sponge daubers, I would say it's definitely something you'd want to try with a sponge dauber that doesn't already have ink on it. That would be best. But I did some that had used ink before and then pastels. You'll just have to be careful to wash them out before you go back to your ink pad again, if you're going to kind of go back and forth between the pastels and the ink. But that looks pretty, don't you think?
I do. I like
with the two-tone.
I do. I like how that's turning out.
And you just, if you're not getting it dark enough, because I'm a bright girl, so pastels in themselves are, that whole thing of pastels is not really my style as much. So I'm going to use a lot of layers because I like a lot of color. as you can tell by the clothes I wear. And if you've been in my house, you kind of, that's probably where I got that idea right there. I have some chairs that are just about like this.
Your
I didn't even
living room
think about
colors.
that. My living room is about these colors, yeah. Okay, so I think that's kind of getting the look I wanted. I'll see if I can hold,
No, I think
let me
it's just
hold
that.
this up.
Yeah, I think it's just that. I think it's clear on my phone.
Okay, let's see how y'all are seeing this. I have a little delay, of course, as you know, on the camera between when I can see it and when y'all see it.
Yeah.
It's still not real crystal clear there, but it really is pretty the way that's done. It does kind of look like alcohol inks. Okay, glad y'all like it. We're getting hearts. We love it. Okay, now we're going to stamp the little parts here. I'm going to stamp a big one. I'm going to stamp a couple of these. And I use the center. Oops.
Which one are you using? This one?
Yes. I use just this little center flower here. Here's the big one. We're going to do the leaf in two-tone, and we're using this little center. I'll probably use the bigger rose and the leaf on the inside of the card. But right now, we're just going to stamp several of these. Yeah, I guess I'll do one at a time, I think, here. So we're going to go on that with the...
Hi, Andrea. She used to work with my sister.
Oh, awesome. Good to see you, Andrea. Glad you're here. Doing a fun technique with us. And for those who just tuned in, Tanya Cook is with me tonight. I put two right there together without realizing it.
Oh, well, that's well,
yeah,
you're gonna
that
cut them
could
out.
work. Yeah, I'm gonna work. So we're going to stamp one more. That's what you get when you're talking and working with practically invisible ink. Watermark's kind of like invisible ink.
With a bright light on top of it.
Yeah. There we go. So these are going to be the little centers to our flower. And we're going to play with it. I'm going to do several and see what we like after we cut it out. I kind of did two of them and then cut one of them apart on this card, but I might actually do three and go ahead and fill that in on this card and just see what we think about that. Y'all are going to get some input as you usually do. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a couple of those far enough apart this time. We're going to get going with our Pacific Point again. And you really want to do it quickly. I think I said that already, but I'll say it again. Yeah, don't let the Versamark dry before you get after it with the pastel, and it'll do better. It sticks a lot better. And if you find that you're not getting dark enough color, just use your pastel again on your paper against kind of a hard surface. You need to kind of be on a table or something where you're getting a harder surface, and that gets more off of your pastel. If you're still not getting enough, you can scrape some off with your scissors on the side of your chalk, the side or the end, the edge, and get a little more color that way. Okay. Now we're just going to kind of set those with our finger. I'm using a different finger for each one. I'm going to get that off with my little wet wipe. It's always good to have a little wet wipe handy. Okay, now let's do some leaves. How about that? Okay, we're going to stick with our Granny Apple Green on this one, since that's what we used in the stripes. Get this all ready so when we stamp it with our Versamark, we'll be all set. Okay, and once again, you just stamp on your Versamark. You want to get it really, really coated well, and make sure your pad is juicy, but not too juicy. I kind of overdid it when I first did this. It was kind of dry, and then I put too much of the Versamark refill ink, which you can get from Stampin' Up also. You can get the Versamark and the refill, but just coat it really well. Okay, and kind of blow the excess pastel off as you go. I'm going to do a couple of these just in case while we're at it. We might want to use another set on a different card. Okay. And we'll just clean these off with our little Stampin' Chamois and get that Versamark off. And I would recommend, if you have a,
Do you have it handy?
if you have a Stampin' Scrub, I would use that with the Versamark just to make sure you get that off. Okay, now here I have been talking and not getting on my ink quickly, but we're probably fine. There we go. You can see those leaves jumping out at you there. Thank you, Tanya. Tanya, it is wonderful to have an assistant where, yeah, have a helper where I'm not doing everything all at once. Anybody have any comments or questions or anything yet? I actually have somebody here who could help answer them quickly.
Yeah,
Tanya's really good. Even when she's at home and I'm here, she still answers a lot of your questions. So anybody who has a question, just...
And I think these are in stock, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay.
They were last time I checked.
I haven't checked. Well, no, I looked on the back ordered on that list today. They weren't on there.
Okay, good. And they're only $9.
$9, and I think they'll last you forever.
Yeah. And a reminder that tomorrow is the free shipping day. So if y'all want to order some of these and do the free shipping, we can certainly do that. I'll give you a special host code if you use tomorrow, because I have to open the host code tomorrow and close it tomorrow to be able to do something special for that particular order that gets you free shipping. So This is my host code for the rest of the month if you don't get your order in tomorrow. But if you have something you need, and maybe several of you might want to, if you just need to order a couple of small things, I can certainly help you with that.
Because it's like, I think you have to have $50, don't you, to get
Yes, $50.
At least.
So if several of y'all just need a little bit, if you don't need the 50 and I have several people, I can add that up and make a $50 order if we need to. It would just have to be really quick and y'all catch me tomorrow and we figure that out. But the easiest way is to order it yourself, and that way it's shipped directly to you. And you can get any of your basics that you know you're going to need, the paper, envelopes, adhesives, get you some Versamark. Definitely if you're going to play with the pastels, you would want to get some Versamark, some sponge daubers, and the pastels. And you would be on your way. Okay, we're probably doing more of these than we need, but just in case, we're gonna have plenty to play with. Okay, yeah, it looks like my Versamark
It's drying out a little bit, isn't it?
maybe drying out a little bit, or I'm not heavy-handed enough here with the pastel. We'll try that again. I didn't press hard enough, maybe. There we go. That's working. Okay. I'll give you those if you don't mind. That's awesome. Okay, and we're going to cut those out. I'm also going to cut a... No, we're going to go ahead and stamp. This we discovered. This is going to be on the Tailored Tags dies, I believe is the name of it.
Is that
the
right?
Tailor-made tags dies. That's what this is made from, and we've already die cut it for you out of this size. And there's two different ones. One is more squared off at the top, and one has a little bit of rounding. And then they've got the cute little tab that you can do in a coordinating color. So you can indeed make your greeting work with the Versamark and the pastels. So I thought that was awesome. It gives it a really soft look compared to your normal ink stamping, which I love also. And certainly in these colors. I love anything in these colors. Okay, we're going to stamp this. Let's see, with our flower here, I may do this one in the, I don't know. Do y'all want to see that in the green to see something different? This is the Pacific Point. I can do the thanks in the green or in the Coastal Cabana color. And I had actually cut one tag in the Coastal Cabana already, but I don't see it. So we can
I didn't see that one. I'm sorry.
Let's see if I have it in my little bag of goodies. Here we go. So here's the thanks on this one. Let's see if we're going to be putting it and overlapping on that card. I think that would be pretty, but we can try one in the green too.
Yeah, I think the coastal. That's my vote, but no one's.
Anybody have a vote?
An opinion.
An opinion. We can do one in the green, and then we have this one to use in case y'all don't like the green. How about that?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll have both options, and then we'll put the card together and let y'all choose which one you like. And it's just kind of like the magic of embossing. You know that feeling, Tanya, when you emboss and all of a sudden
it turns very shiny.
Yes.
It's fun.
This is, it's a little like that because it just kind of magically appears on that Versamark.
Yes, it does.
It's not quite as dramatic as the embossing because it's not raised, but it's really pretty. It's a different effect than you get from stamping when you use the Versamark and the sponge daubers.
It's like when you're a kid and you had those little, you didn't know what the picture was going to be and you added water and it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it came alive.
Came alive.
Yeah.
It was like magic.
Yeah.
Yep. So here we go. And then we're just going to rub that a little bit with our fingers. And you can see that you do have a little, it kind of a halo effect almost around the...
It shows up more there than it did, I think, on the flower. Well, certain colors maybe are more so than others.
Yeah. So there we go. Get that little sponge dauber off of our fingers. And we will...
Oh, Susan's here.
Hi, Susan. Glad you're here. Tanya's here with us. You may have missed the intro, but... Oh, I didn't think of that, Jennifer. You are exactly right. I see that a little late. Can do two-tone on the sentiment. Yes, I certainly could have. But I did not. That would be a good one to consider for next time. I've already got this cut, so we're gonna... We'll see which one we want to do of this. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get this card put together. This time, I'm going to use, I really like the Bermuda Bay and the kind of the contrast of this with the other. Plus, I had very little Pacific Point left and didn't realize that I was down to my last sheet. So,
well of a tale.
Yes, I did well of a time. I did a class and did a ton of Pacific Point. Yes, so I didn't realize that I was out of that. So we'll use, let's look and see if we want the Granny Apple Green card base. And this is just your typical card base. When you start with your cardstock, if you're a beginner, you start with 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and you cut it in half. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. So when you fold it, excuse me, it's 4.25 by 5.5 is the typical card front here in the US. They have different sizes in Europe and other countries. Germany, they have different sizes. But ours here, that's typical. So what we're going to do is, we may have to cut this a little bit more. I didn't think about that.
Oh, is that too big?
It's a little bit too big.
Okay. You want it 4
We're going to cut that. It'll be 3 and...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
3.25 by 5.
3 3/4 by 5. Yes, 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to go ahead and let you look and see what you think here. I'm going to move this out of the way. We've got,
there you go.
Thank you, ma'am. We've got Coastal Cabana on the Granny Apple Green with this. Okay, so here's card 1. Here's with Coastal Cabana and the Granny Apple Green. All right, or we can put the Coastal Cabana on the Bermuda Bay and give it quite a different look. And then your leaves are probably going to stand out more with this green stripe. Anybody have an opinion there? I kind of like this.
I like that. That's my favorite.
I like this better. Okay. Oh, I got an angry face. Is somebody angry and sad? I don't know what that was about.
I bet it was an accident.
Hopefully that was an accident. I hope so. Okay, so we've kind of, the water helps with those to get that where it doesn't smear too much.
It's not on my fingers.
But it will do some. See, I've got a little bit in the middle there.
But the flour's going to cover it.
But the flour's going to cover it. So we're good. And it's not an exact, it doesn't have to be an exact stripe. This is all artsy looking. So
we have Bermuda Bay 2-3 times.
Yes, we do. Okay, so we've got Bermuda Bay here. We're going to use, you just use your favorite liquid glue, or you can use your Stampin' Seal, whatever you want to attach those. You might even, it wouldn't hurt to do the Stampin' Seal Plus since on the the stripe piece, since it is,
did you dimensional?
It does have water.
Oh, the flowers.
I dimensional the flower.
Okay.
Yeah, and just left the background flat since we've got, because you've got 2 layers with the greeting and the flower, and then this is doubled up. So I did indeed do the both background pieces flat. And I don't have a pen here. P-I-N.
Did you find one?
No. There, it's in my, it's in one of the little trash cans in there that I was going to bring in. You know, stuck in the little trash can. It's a good thing I have a helper tonight. I was not all organized here. I'm just having a little trouble with my glue. A little dried out.
There we go.
All right, Tanya's my hero tonight. Bermuda Bay. Okay, now everybody.
Come on, there we go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I distracted you coming over.
That's all right. We're just trying to learn a lot of different things all at once. Okay. We're going to mount our Coastal Cabana to the Bermuda Bay. Y'all voted for Bermuda Bay, and you agreed with me and Tanya. So on the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card front, we have put a 4. Oh, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then this is 3 3/4 by 5.
Yep.
So if y'all are looking for measurements to make this card on your own, of course, if you're coming on Sunday to the techniques class, you'll get to make one, and I'll have everything ready for you to make it. So you won't have to worry about that. So yeah, I think the Whisper White, the pastels, basic white, thank you, Tanya. That's a lot of years of using that. It smears a little more on this one than it does on the shimmery white.
Yeah.
So that's why we're experimenting tonight, just to see.
It feels different too. It feels a little
grainier.
This is smoother on the shimmery versus that.
It is. Okay, yay, we have our base ready. We're going to go ahead and die cut the pieces from using our artistically inked dies. Our artistic dies.
Over there.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and put it on screen so they can see this.
Yeah, that's going to mess up something.
Okay.
Here you go.
So we will, these are the dies. We're going to actually use the big flower and the leaves and the little flower and the other leaf. Okay.
Do you have some tape to hold them? Or you're not going to worry about it?
Well, that would probably be good. There, it's in that drawer under the big.
Okay.
There's a little, oh, wait. I think I have some here, Tanya. Some Post-it note paper.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, got some of these too.
I'm all good. Okay. So, let's get these chalks put up before I break them into smithereens with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here.
I'll get them put away.
All right. And be sure and keep wiping your hands once you've used those chalks. In fact, I may move this whole sheet until we... Oops. We'll move that out of the way until we get ready for it.
Here we go.
And we will line up the...
I get it. Oh, you just keep going. I'll find it.
Goodness gracious, I'm going to have a little sip of water here. Okay. So on the flower, you can just pick whichever one you like, since we actually used we lined it up 2 different ways. In fact, we may do it where we've got even a little bit of white showing one way or the other. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here suddenly. Alrighty. We'll just line it up the blue way, or do we want to line it up with the Coastal Cabana one?
I'd go for the blue one.
I think we'll do this one. All right, we're gonna try that. And we'll see if we can do a couple things at the same time. Sometimes, eventually, Stampin' Up! Will have a wonderful magnetic platform for us to use, but since we don't have it, this is the mouse pad. We can't set anything on that.
I messed up.
That's all right, no problem.
Oh, they didn't see it. I saw it.
Let's see here. We can do that. Both of those with one little sticky note. And then we'll use another sticky note over here. See if I can capture 2 of those. We'll do a center. Because they don't have to be perfect. Since this isn't a perfect image anyway, you always use your little sandwich. As I tell all my Create with Kelley crew over here, we always have a little, one of your clear plates is like a piece of bread on a sandwich, and then you put your meat and cheese, which are your dies and your paper, in the middle, and then you put your top layer of the sandwich, your other piece of bread, on top. And that's how you know you have a complete sandwich. And that works most of the time. Sometimes you just need one piece. And if you've got a really sticky Post-it note, you need to be careful and kind of peel it back on itself and not just pull it straight up. Let me get that where y'all can see that a little bit better. What I'm talking about, kind of pull it back on itself so that you don't tear the paper while you're taking that off. Because this definitely has a lot of pressure on this Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I put that right over that one. And it definitely, you don't want to overlap on the pastels, I just learned. The inks don't come off like that, but that did peel off part of my pastels where I overlapped it.
So you don't want to contaminate your next image.
So you might just do one image at a time. Don't put your Post-it note over something that's already pasteled, we'll say. Is that a word? Anybody? Pasteled?
Let's say colored, I would say.
Okay, colored. Yeah, colored with pastels.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do another leaf and another little leaf, if we can. And try to just catch the edge of those. Hopefully just enough to hold that down. Then we'll do a center in the blue. And run that back through again. And the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is just awesome. If you don't have one of these, I would say coming up soon, we're in August, we'll have Celebration where you can earn free items with your purchases. So that might be a time to consider getting one of these if you don't have one. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a couple of more centers and we will be done with the die cut machine.
Sneak over there and grab the rest of those before we lose them.
Thank you, ma'am. Alrighty. See if we can keep that little center on. I think I moved it off. Move this over so y'all can see. Kind of hard to tell what's on camera and do everything all at the same time. I like to try to line up my plates as best as I can. I think it goes through smoother and you don't risk harming your machine or tearing up a plate or tearing up a texture folder or anything if you keep them lined up. All right, I'm going to do one more of those and I think we'll have plenty to play with. And sorry I couldn't do these ahead of time because we were going to stamp them or do the pastels on the air. So there we go. All done with that. We can move that out of the way. And now this is off again.
It's gone off and on, but everything, mine's staying on. So
okay.
It might just be your feed on, since you're feeding off all three of these, you're feeding off your internet. You know?
Okay. Here's the last die. Now we're ready to show you what we're doing on the front. And we will, if you'll hand me the ribbon scissors, we'll get a little bit of the sheer pool party ribbon. There's not pool party in here, but if you kind of know your colors or color theory, you can use a color coach if you need help with that, or you can holler at me if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you. But the Coastal Cabana is kind of like a darker pool party, and then the Bermuda Bay is a little bit darker than Coastal Cabana with maybe a little bit more blue in there. So all these are going to coordinate. I did not have a Bermuda Bay or Pacific Point ribbon to coordinate with it exactly. So
I don't think we have one, do we?
We don't. We don't have one currently in the catalog. So that's why I decided on Pool Party to go with this, because I think this ribbon, this sheer Pool Party ribbon, is just beautiful.
I love it.
Now we're looking for here we go. We'll get our Stampin' Dimensionals out. And what I did, you can see the difference. This is the plain Coastal Cabana one that I did previously. See if I can get that where y'all can see it. Up close to the camera. Can you see the difference in those two? This one is the two-tone, where we did one layer of Coastal Cabana and one layer of Pacific Point. And this one is just the Coastal Cabana. So it really gives it a lot of depth for you to use the one layer of Versamark, use one color, and then put another layer of Versamark offset and use the second color. And it really gives it a lot of depth that way, I think. Now your die is never going to be exactly right because you have two colors cutting out, but I think that works great in this particular instance. So that's what we're going to use today. And I kind of had this one where I tucked the leaves in this little part, and I kind of like that. So we're just going to stick with that this time. We'll use our little Stampin' Dimensionals on the card. And I'm just using one layer on the flower, and you can peel the backs off of your dimensionals with your fingernails, or you can use your Take Your Pick tool, whatever works best for you. And I did not put a Stampin' Dimensional in the center because I'm going to put dimensionals on the little center pieces that I'm adding. So we're going to leave that kind of over here on the left. I'm just going to kind of lay that there. We may want it a little further over. And I kind of play with it, play with the layout first before I totally stick everything. I've got that sticking up where I can kind of tell. I think that's about right. We may want a little bit more room for our ribbon over here. So I'll move that. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and vote. And this is on, the thanks in the Coastal Cabana is on the shimmery white cardstock. And this is on the basic white. So there definitely is a difference in the way the pastel works in the background on these.
You're still up on here.
So here we go. So I'll let y'all choose the Coastal Cabana or the Granny Apple Green.
That's a hard choice.
Anybody have any comments there on that? Let's see. See, all of a sudden my comments are gone on the iPad. And this one is behind.
We have no comments at the moment if y'all are watching.
Yep.
This is still
Here
spinning.
we go. Here we go. We have Deborah Burdick. I'm glad you're watching, Deborah. I don't know when you tuned in, but I have an iPad and a computer here just to make sure I don't miss any comments. And
Andrea says Coastal Cabana. Anybody else have an opinion? I like the Coastal Cabana too. It's easier to see.
It is. And it may be because it's on the shimmery white. So we're kind of learning that lesson tonight, that probably it is worth investing. The shimmery white is a little bit more expensive than the basic white for paper, but certainly with these pastels, good. Okay, we're sticking with the Coastal Cabana. And all you do on the ribbon, if you haven't done this before, you can either, I usually, instead of trying to stick the ends through the hole, I stick the other part through. And if you go from the top and put the tails through the loop this way, you get this look, okay, that has the little knot on top.
And less fraying of your ribbon too.
And yeah, it doesn't fray your ribbon as much. It's a lot easier. But you can come in, you can still use that end, and instead of coming from the top, if you come from the bottom and stick your tails through, it gives you a little bit different look. Not a lot, but a little. So you can decide which way you want it to be. See, you can tell here that that wraps around so that the knot part that's on the front on this one is on the back on that one. See if I can get these side by side. I don't know the easiest way to show you that. Can y'all tell the difference there? There you go. So just a little tip. It just depends which way you put that loop end, from the top or from the back. Okay, so we've decided on the Coastal Cabana. That's what we'll use there. I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of the leaves also. And kind of leave room there in at the center where we're going to tuck it in underneath the flower. I did a bait and switch there on myself, didn't I?
I was like, I think it's going to go down.
Nope, I didn't glue it all the way. I left room for my little leaves here. And then we've got the one layer here, the one layer here, and then we're going to add a layer here. And what I did was fussy cut. Let's decide which color we want in the center. If we want the Coastal Cabana in the center and then some of the blues on the sides, like that. That's one option. Or we can do the Coastal Cabanas on the sides and add the blue in the center. Anybody have an opinion on those? I know it takes a minute. We do have some comments though.
Yeah, it takes a bit. Well,
yeah, just takes a little bit. I kind of think the blue on top pops more.
I think so, because it blends in with the flower the other way.
Okay. I'm going to see if we might want this on all four sides. What I did was cut one of them in half, one of the Coastal Cabanas in half, and then put it around the Pacific Point. So I'm just going to get a little, I think I'm just going to put a little line of glue right here. And you can use your favorite glue. You can try a glue dot rolled up if you want. But I think just a thin line of liquid glue is probably going to be your best bet. And Stampin' Up! Does have the Tombow liquid, multi-purpose liquid glue. If that's your favorite, use that one. Whatever liquid glue you have there is going to work. So we're going to put this, attach that. I think we're going to go all the way around on this one. And that way y'all get to see a little bit different look than the way I did it initially, which was I just cut one of them. And I had my little silicone mat. There it is right there.
Oh, sorry. I covered it up.
No problem. I just figured I forgot to bring it in here. Here we go.
With two people sorting stuff, I know.
Well, it does take a little effort and a little pre-planning to get these Facebook Lives done. We appreciate your patience as we're trying to learn.
We'll need more patience next week.
Hopefully we can get that going where Tanya gets to experiment with doing this on her own.
Okay, I post, oh, they're $9.
Okay, so now I have that all the way around. And then we're going to, anything that looks a little funny like that with the white, it just looked a little funny to me. So I'm just going to snip that off right there. Snip that a little bit. It was just too square for me. Not round enough with the other flowers. Okay, then we're going to dimensional the back of this. And I would recommend overlapping those so that not only do you have the glue holding,
true,
but you've got the Stampin' Dimensionals kind of holding them together. So I kind of overlap both of those. And I think I raised that blue up before. Okay. Yes, Tanya, $9. Thanks.
Well, no, I posted the number, but it's not showing up there.
Okay. So we've got that flower. Now all we lack is our greeting. We'll go ahead and dimensional that. And you'll want to either, you can double stack the dimensionals here, or you can make those single. Whoops, I did it the wrong side. I'm looking at it backwards here.
That's funny.
Okay. I'm going to do this. And that was where I didn't want it. If you get those quickly and you haven't pushed them down really hard, you can get them off sometimes. So on this corner where it's going to overlap that flower, you've already got a dimensional under here, so you don't need one here. This will just even out so it's all the same dimension as this. If you want it to be more, if you want this one to be even higher, we can double stack that. Like on this one, I double stacked it before the center of the flower, but here I didn't. So y'all would have some options to see. Let's just double pop this up and we'll see what we think of that. We'll go ahead and take the backs off of those. And then we will, you have to make sure you take the backs off before you double stack them. And this is not going to go through the mail very well with it double stacked, but it certainly does make a dramatic greeting for you with it stacked up that high.
You just have to put a special stamp.
Yeah, special stamp. Non-machinable surcharge is all you have to pay. So it's about 70 cents instead of 50 cents. All right, there we go. And it doesn't bother me that this ribbon hangs over a little bit. It's not like as if the paper on your card hangs over the edge, because when you put that in the envelope, it's going to be okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So there we go. How fun is that? Let's see what time it is and see if we have time to do a little inside.
It's 8:20, 8:18.
Do y'all want to see something on the inside, or do we just want to let you know, hey, you could just stamp, do one more pastel thing.
We're getting hearts.
We're getting hearts. Yay. Thank you, Susan. Glad you're going to get to make it on Sunday. Andrea, would love to have you on Sunday. I still have openings. Like I said, I haven't cut out all the cardstock. So if you want to come make some of these. Oh, we also have the Artistry Blooms, I believe is the name of that.
Oh, the
sequins. The sequins. Yes. And we'll use our little take your pick tool. And these colors are just perfect with it, I think. And we're going to kind of go about where we did before on this one. And I think I'll use a big one at the bottom too. I'm going to come over here. Whoops, I missed it. Missed it with my putty.
Yeah.
We're going to try a little bit different.
I like a little peekaboos.
Yeah. Do we want 3 big ones on here instead of little ones, or do we like the little like that?
I like the little.
All right, we're going to switch that back. We had to try it. There we go. And if you kind of spread those out, usually I do an odd number. You could do this if you really, really, really are a bling gal. You could put some on the flower, but I tried that and I really thought it took away.
Yeah, you're losing.
It takes away from the
detail in the middle.
Yeah, it looks a little better on this one with all that than it did on this one. But if y'all want to vote yay or nay on the bling on the flower, you could do 3 little ones here if you wanted. You could do some on here. But I really like just the 3 because this, I really wanted that to be the star. That and the stripes. You don't want to have too many focal points on the same card. So.
This is still spinning. This one's just sleeping. It's probably because you're caught up over here.
I don't know. Okay. Well, this is why I've told Tanya it's good to have a backup and have an iPad and a computer, because the computer hasn't been working for us tonight with all the comments. It keeps getting caught in a loop. So there we go. I would on the inside go ahead and stamp just one of the little flowers. It won't take but a minute. We'll just go ahead and do that so we can have a finished card.
Are you gonna?
I'm just gonna pastel it. I'll just go ahead and pastel
full
it.
rose.
I'll take the full rose.
Oh, I have the pastels over here if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, let's do that.
Dadgummit. Upside down. Okay, didn't break.
Here we go. And they'll work even if you break the pastels. Let's just do the either one, the blue or the cabana. You pick. Okay.
Because I like that one a lot.
I love that color. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me get my little scrap paper back. Move the Versamark. Okay. Sponge dauber. Feel like a surgeon, you know, asking for tools with sponge dauber.
Would it work if you just rubbed it on there? The sponge dauber? I mean, just a thought. Not today. But
onto here?
No, onto that. Take the sponge.
You probably could.
I don't know.
We can try it. That's what we're here for, is to experiment. So
I was just thinking.
We're all about it. Let me re-ink that real quick since I've been jibber-jabbering. Okay, I'm just going to kind of do that down here in this corner. We'll see Tanya's idea here of rubbing the sponge dauber onto the chalk and see how we did on that. See if I can tell where we are. And this is the different flower in that set, but it definitely coordinates with it. Here's our magic happening again.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no, nothing's there. Oh! My granddaughter would be like, oh, magic!
It is. Okay, do we want to have to do a blue on that other one? Are we good with this one layer?
I think just one layer on the
All
inside.
right, perfect. All right, now we'll do a little leaf with the green. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do a couple of these single leaves.
There's the green. Sneaking in.
All righty.
I'm going to have to go home and play and not work in the yard tomorrow.
Right. These are fun. And Susan, I have yours captive. I have your your pastels, so you don't get to play until Sunday. And I've got several of your pastels who are coming to Sunday.
They can't see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry. Here we go. Thanks, Tanya.
It's all right. Judy was telling us. So this final.
Thank you, Judy.
Well, we've got some comments coming through, but it's still spinning over here. That's weird. Anyhow.
Can't figure out these technical things. Okay, sorry, I was out of the area there. Okay, and then I would say rub it a little bit with your finger to kind of set it with the oils. 2 different fingers or one finger for each color, if that makes sense. Now we have just a really soft look on the inside and leaves room for your special note to a wonderful person that you're sending this thank you card to. You could also stamp a greeting if you want. I wouldn't go with a fine greeting. I wouldn't try to do that with a pastel. I would go ahead and stamp that. Instead, you really would have to have a pretty bold greeting for it to show up this well. But once again, as we've experimented tonight, the shimmery white works better than the whisper white. But it's not a lot better. It's just a little bit different. So if all you have is the basic white, then that would be great to play with. But if you're doing a special card for somebody, you might want to do the shimmer white. Alrighty then. Here we go. Here's our thank you card. Here's the one that I had done previously that you can see is a little on the shimmery white. The one on the left, or my left, is the shimmery white one. This is the basic white. And they both have the same colors of pastels. I did them the same way. They just kind of gave you a little bit different effect. I think I could make it darker with this one, with the shimmery white paper. So there you go. Thanks. Glad you like it, Andrea. And here's the inside, a nice soft color that really works. Don't y'all like that Bermuda Bay with it? I just really think that's pretty. And this Bermuda Bay and the Coastal Cabana is really pretty, but this green against the Bermuda Bay really pops. So just play with your colors and play with the ones you like. If you're not really a blue and green gal and you like the reds, then try that. This flower will work with just about anything. In fact, I was thinking about today trying to make that kind of a really artsy poinsettia and do it in the reds and do these in the mossy green. That'd be pretty. Just thinking already about Christmas. We've got a Christmas catalog coming up.
Not much longer.
Not much longer. Okay, well, I will flip the camera back around so that we can say goodnight. And thank you for being patient with us as I'm trying to show Tanya the ropes, and hopefully she can try this next week.
Wish me luck.
Hope y'all can join us.
Few prayers.
Yeah. I'll turn the camera down. I'm going to cover this up and flip this. We're going to flip that off, turn that on, turn this back up where you think we're going to be. You may want to come in a little closer.
I got scooching.
And here we go. We're here. Let's see. Thank y'all for being patient. I'm going to turn this up just a little higher.
All right.
Now, how about that? Now you have us both.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thanks, Andrea.
She said good luck.
Yeah. She'll do
Thanks,
great.
Jennifer.
You want to hold one?
Okay.
Okay, let's see if we can both get these on camera.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't tell if y'all can see or not. I mean,
there we go.
Can't tell if it's clear.
Now, thank you again for tuning in. Hope you'll order some of these soft pastels and play with them. And you're welcome to join us for a techniques class next Sunday. Thanks for all the hearts. I appreciate that. I love it when I get to inspire people and share creative ideas. So I love seeing other people's ideas. And if you want to post your cards, if you already have your pastels and want to post some in the Create with Kelley crew group on my Facebook page, that would be great. Would love to see them. And Tanya, hopefully we'll be with you next week.
Maybe. We're going to try.
We're going to try. If not, it'll be the next week before I get to join you on the next Wednesday. So thanks again for tuning in, and thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it when you send this video, send a link to the video, even if it's to watch the replay. It doesn't have to be to watch it live. If you'll share this, it helps me get the word out that I am actually doing a business, and I would like to be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. And I'll be glad to help you with any orders, help answer any questions, and would love to have you join me again in 2 weeks and hopefully join Tanya if we can make it work for next week. It's all that technical stuff about allowing her to open up my page and all that. So if anybody knows how to do all that administrative stuff, you might give us a call. We could use your help.
Yes.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in. Anything you want to say, Tanya?
Oh, no. Good night.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Come back again. Fun times ahead. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.